Normally, I don't like the HP brand, but this HP gaming laptop piques my interest as one of the most interesting laptops I've ever stumbled across. One unique feature with this laptop is that it has Beats audio with a volume knob to control the volume. Notice how the Beats logo stays upright as I change the volume. This is to make sure everyone knows what a luxury product you have, so that people will feel envious. It also has a built-in subwoofer for that extra bass. Out of every laptop I've ever used,
this one has the loudest speaker.
And that's not all. This laptop has even more features, unlike anything you've ever seen. Addressing the elephant in the room, this thing is enormous and heavy. It weighs 7.3 pounds, and compared to the ThinkPad T420, it makes it look like a much smaller laptop. It was so heavy that the previous owner decided to put furniture pads on the bottom of it so it can be slid around. I decided to remove these. This device, with its all-aluminum chassis, is also engineered to meet select U.S. Department of Defense standards for equipment used in combat to help ensure they survive extreme conditions for high temperature, humidity, shock, and vibration. So you can play CSGO while doing real-life CSGO at the same time. As far as the peripherals go, the ports are insane. It's got 4 USB ports, and not one, but 2 display ports, and an HDMI. I have never seen a laptop with 3 digital display outputs before. On the other side, there is a microphone input and 2 headphone outputs, so that 2 sets of headphones can be plugged in. I guess this makes sense, since this laptop is too big for just one lap. If you're gonna chill in bed, you need 2 laps. It's really more of a laptop. Also, this laptop can play Blu-ray DVD at 1080p. Oh. In addition to the 3 video ports, there is also a wireless video output as well. This is the Wi-Fi card right here, and this is the Intel wireless display card, otherwise known as the WiDi card. This isn't something commonly used today, but back in 2012, this is something that a lot of fancy people used. One other feature it could have come with is a 3D screen, paired with HP 3D glasses. This one did not come with a 3D screen, but back in 2012, several games had a 3D mode which could pair nicely with one that did. Originally, this laptop came with 8GB of RAM and an 80GB mSATA SSD, paired with a 1TB hard drive. While I had it open, I decided to upgrade the RAM to 16GB, and the SSD to a 256GB one instead. I also installed a 750GB hard drive, since the 1TB drive was long gone. Also, there was no battery when I got this device. I was thinking I would replace it, but I decided it wasn't worth it, since it's expensive, and even when this laptop was new, the battery life was pretty terrible, as most gaming laptops are. As far as the processor goes, it could have come with an i7-3610QM, but mine came with the slightly faster i7-3720QM with 4 cores and 8 threads, and a maximum turbo frequency of 3.6 GHz. It could have also come with an AMD Radeon HD 750M, although mine came with the 7800M instead, which is a little bit less powerful. The graphics card in this laptop is quite dated, considering that this laptop is from 2012. It only has 1GB of dedicated video memory, although it could also use shared memory as well, which means that it can use half of the regular memory for video memory, so up to 9GB of video memory since I've upgraded the computer's RAM. Despite its age, this computer can still play games. GTA 5 runs pretty smoothly at 1080p in low and normal settings, although it did not recognize the shared video memory, so I had to keep the population density and variety low. I couldn't run Forza Horizon 4, however, I could play Forza Horizon 5 at the lowest graphics settings and at the lowest resolution setting. It was a bit stuttery, and I hovered at around 20 FPS. I'd say it's just barely playable. Fallout 4 was running pretty decently at 1080p with the lowest graphics settings, but it did end up crashing. Fallout 76 ran pretty decently at 1080p with the lowest graphics settings, and it didn't have any crashing. I actually played this one for several hours. Counter-Strike 2 was playable, but I had to scale down the resolution to 720p and use the lowest graphics settings. BeamNG ran pretty good at the lowest settings while hovering at around 20 FPS. Mafia 2 Classic ran well at 1080p and high graphics settings. That's not too surprising since this game is from 2010. Still a pretty good looking game, I think. Watch Dogs 2 was playable at full resolution in the lowest settings, but there was occasional stuttering, and when I go to the game, it warns me that the GPU is not supported, but I'm able to disable it and play this game anyways. This laptop probably won't be playing the newest AAA titles, but considering that it only cost me $10, I'd say that's a win. Although, when I bought it, it was part of a lot of 10 other random laptops, and I had no idea what I was getting. So I'd say I was pretty lucky, even though there were a few that were not so great. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more wacky laptop content, consider subscribing.